So what are you guys giving up for Lent? Giving up courtesy this year? Yeah. Man, my family's way on board. It's going to be awesome.
I'm giving up fasting.
You're giving up fasting?
Yeah.
That's the double whammy right there, giving up fasting.
I'm giving up, like, making just the facade of being nice to Mitch.
Can we cut that mic? Let's go ahead and cut the mic. All right, we going? We kicking it? It's right at 11 o'clock. Good morning, everyone. How you doing? Yay! Happy Mardi Gras coming up soon. Yay! So we all made it through Valentine's Day. Good job. Good job. I would like to see that. So I just want to say, what? Sue always gives me the look from the front row. I don't care for it anyway. If you would all please stand and join us in our first song, which is Imogene by John Lennon.
Yeah, and sometimes you sing a song so many times and you hear a song so many times that you forget what it's about and you just sing the words. So, and what this is about, like all the things that are named in this song are things that separate us, that we've created. Possessions, nations, and even the concept of heaven and hell. So just think about that. Imagine there's no heaven. It isn't hard to do. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. Isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.
If you would please join us in our mission statement. Nope, Unity Statement of Faith. If you would all join us now. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. You may be seated.
Good morning. That's to all of you sitting here in the sanctuary with us, as well as those who are joining us by live stream. We're so glad that you're here. Please take a moment to check in on Facebook, telling your friends that you're here at Unity of Springfield. And then if you would silence your phone, that would be appreciated. I know I always like later on in the day on Sunday getting to like and love all the posts of the people who were here joined in energy. So that's a fun thing if you know how to do the check-in on Facebook. We are still recommending the wearing of masks for the overall benefit of everyone. Our goal is to take the action we are inspired to take to keep everyone as healthy as possible, and we are leaving it up to you to choose how you do that. And now Sue has a special something for us this morning.
Good morning. So we've never done this before, so we're excited to do this, and that is that we are going to do an official board installation. So you can know who your board members are, and you could know who these wonderful people are. But Paula, if you'll come up first for a moment. Paula has been serving on our board for 8+ years, right? 8+ years. Yeah. And I do want to share with you, I mean, the commitment of that is just phenomenal. And Paula has made it to almost every board meeting in that 8+ years, which is pretty phenomenal as well. And we just have appreciated so much, Paula, the energy that you've brought to the board for the last 8+ years, your incredible dedication and commitment, your love of this ministry. And although you're going to hear this in a few minutes, the flowers today are yours. They have been dedicated to you, so the flowers are yours. So if you could just turn around for a moment, and could we just say a huge thank you of appreciation to Paula? Yes. Woohoo! Thank you. Thank you, and we love you. Thank you. And now if the rest of our board members would come up, please. So I'm going to share their names with you. Now, each board member is a liaison to a particular area of our ministry, and a liaison simply means that they are the person that this area can go to express joys and express concerns or needs. So we're going to start, first of all, with the awesome Amy Burnett, who is our board president, and willingly... And she willingly raised her hand and said she would like to be the board president again this year, so we're thrilled about that. And usually the board president doesn't have a liaison position, but because Amy is just so awesome, she is the liaison to our outreach and our volunteers. Then we have I'm not really sure what adjective to put in front of Mitch here. Strikingly handsome. We have the honorary Mitch Brashears, who this year is our vice president of our board of directors. Recall. And Mitch is the liaison to our media department. Then we have the awesome Teresa Amesqua, and Teresa is our secretary this year. Yay! And Teresa is our liaison to our adult education. And then we have Joseph Babbitt. He is our treasurer. Does an amazing job, and he is our liaison to fundraising, so get used to this face right here. Our board members are John Brocker, and John is our liaison for employment, and I'm grateful to say I'm still employed. Oh, and spirit groups, yes. And you're our liaison for spirit groups, which we're going to get those going again. Blaine Stiles is our liaison for building and grounds and does an amazing job with that. Karen Crego, I know she was here. She is our board liaison for marketing and publicity. Beth DeLange is our liaison for our youth and teens department. And our newest board member, Richard Sigler, is our board liaison for our music department. So, this morning we acknowledge and we install into leadership here at Unity of Springfield, the Unity of Springfield Board of Trustees for 2022 into 2023. So you've been elected to the Board of Trustees of Unity of Springfield because the members of this church believe you to be their worthy representatives. They believe you to possess the qualities of leadership which will embrace and carry out our ministry's vision. Election to the board is both an honor and a privilege, and with this privilege comes personal and organizational responsibilities. In accepting this position on the board, you are making a commitment both to serve and to lead our congregation according to our shared values and principles, including sharing your time, talents, and treasure. Do you so commit? Please answer yes. Yes. Every board member needs a deep commitment to their spiritual life. Do you have such a commitment? Yes. If a conflict arises between your position as a board member and your personal opinions, will you commit first to prayer, second to speaking only to the involved parties, and third to acknowledge this conflict before the board and take positive measures to eliminate the conflict? Even if it's with Mitch. Will you commit to support in a positive manner all actions initiated by the board, even when you are in a minority position on such actions? And with full commitment and a bond of trust established by this ceremony, you are all now duly installed as the Board of Trustees of Unity of Springfield for the annual year of 2022-2023. So if we will go to the next slide, and as a spiritual community, if we will share this blessing with our Board of Directors. To our Board of Directors, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you. And we thank each and every one of you for stepping forward in this way of leadership in our ministry. We know that this is a big call, but I also know, having been with the board for over 30 years, that it's also one of the most deeply enriching things that we get to do as leadership. So we love you guys. Thank you so much. Yay!
Okay, we'll now read our mission statement, which is on the screen together. Our mission is to encourage and inspire spiritual and personal growth by empowering each other to be authentically all that we came here to be. As Sue mentioned earlier, the sanctuary flowers today are provided by Unity of Springfield in grateful appreciation of Paula Armknecht and her years of leadership and service.
Woohoo!
It's a beautiful arrangement to get to take home, Paula. Please join me in speaking the affirmation for today's daily word. We live in harmony in a world of diversity. In a world of such rich diversity, harmony among all people may seem like an impossible dream. Yet Jesus' words to the apostles are a gentle reminder that divine power is actively at work not only in this universe, but in the lives of all people as well. Jesus said, "For mortals it is impossible, but for God all things are possible." Then I know that it is through the Spirit of God within me that I can and do express love and harmony. I contribute harmony to every situation and encourage others to be harmonious too. I realize how blessed I am in knowing that I have done and continue to do my part in making my world a place of harmony. I say an enthusiastic yes in answer to the high call of letting God express harmony through me. The scripture for today is Matthew chapter 5, verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. And now let us repeat the affirmation. We live in harmony in a world of diversity. During prayer and meditation, please hold the following in prayer for their highest and best experience of life: Anita, Dee, Edna, Evelyn, Jacqueline, Marilyn, Susan's friend, Susan, Aaron, Mandy, Lindsay, Mary Lou, Mark, Beth, Beth's friend, Jodine, Bob, Tandra, Sharon's mom, our shelter guests, and anyone for whom you wish us to share in your prayer. We also hold the people of Ukraine and that situation in our prayers. As Sue rings the prayer bowl, we turn our attention within to our heart space, preparing for prayer and meditation. As we follow the vibration and the sounds of the prayer bowl, we begin our prayer and meditation by focusing on our breathing. Take a deep breath in, hold, exhale. Focus your thoughts on your breath. Another deep breath in, hold, exhale. And again, deep breath in, hold, exhale. For the names spoken, ourselves, our loved ones, friends, for everyone everywhere, we affirm health and healing in mind and body and spirit. We affirm prosperity and abundance, guidance, peace of mind for all. We see peace on earth between family members, friends, neighbors, between people with differing beliefs regarding religion and spirituality, inclusivity, history, boundaries. We visualize countries laying down their weapons and celebrating life and love. We continue to feel the presence of God as we move into meditation. We breathe even deeper and surrender our will to God's will for us. Stay aware of your breathing. Notice the rhythm and the pattern of your breath. Now begin to pay attention to the whole of your body as one, from the top of your head down into your fingers, your toes. Be aware of your body as one, every nerve, muscle, and fiber. As you continue to relax, turn your attention deeper within and become more aware of your body until you can almost imagine how you look right now. Begin to picture yourself as if you're seen from the outside. Now imagine that you're taking a step back and you're looking at yourself. Keep looking at that image of yourself resting there, and imagine your own feet are gently beginning to leave the ground. You begin floating serenely upward, all the while your gaze keeps returning to your own body, now seated there below you as you rise above it. The roof and ceiling disappear, allowing you to float freely upward. Gazing down, you see yourself seated comfortably below in the building, looking content and contemplative. You see all the rooms and any other people around. As you continue to float gently, higher and higher, your perspective widens more and more until you see the whole surrounding area. You see all of the buildings nearby from above. You see the people in buildings and on the streets and roads. You begin to contemplate the whole network of human lives and how people everywhere are interacting with each other, influencing each other, encountering each other in different ways. Floating higher, people become as small as ants below you. Rising up into the clouds, you see the whole of the surrounding region beneath you. You float gently up above the clouds, above the weather, through the upper atmosphere of the planet Earth, so high that you eventually rise beyond the sphere of the planet itself and into outer space. You now look toward planet Earth and see it suspended in space before you. Contemplate all the countless living beings upon the earth. The population of the planet is over 6 billion people. You realize that your life is one among many, one person among the total population of the earth. You think of the rich diversity of human life on this earth, the many languages spoken by people of different races in different countries, people of all different ages. You think of the enormous variety of human experience, and you realize how richly varied the tapestry of human life before you is. Think of your own life as one moment in the enormous lifespan of mankind. Think of the lifespan of humanity itself. Think of the great lifespan of this universe. As you contemplate all things, past, present, and future, you see your life within the bigger picture. You see yourself as an integral part of something much bigger, something truly vast. Along with every atom in the universe, you necessarily contribute your role to the unfolding of this grand design. Now, as you begin to sink back to the earth, toward your place in the here and now, let yourself sink back through the sky, toward the local area, back into this building, and sink gently into your body, all the way now, as your feet slowly come to rest upon the floor once again. Think about this room around you, how each and every being in this room is connected. Begin to breathe a little more deeply. Inhale, exhale, in the silence.
I'd like to welcome Mr. Clay Holmes back to the stage for a lovely Neil Young song. It's a classic rock kind of Sunday for us here.
And welcome back, Denny.
Oh,
Yes.
welcome back, Danny. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yes.
On the skins.
On
the
the
skins.
nylon skins.
Was he thinking every living thing. When God made me, when God made me. Was he planning only for believers, or just those that have the faith? Did he envision all the wars that were fought in his name? Did he think that there was just one way to be close to him? When God made me, when God made me. Did he give us the gift of love to say who we could choose? When God made me, when God made me, when God made me, when God made me. Did he give me the gift of voice so song could silence me? Did he give me the gift of vision, not knowing what I would see? Did he give me, God made me, did he give me the gift of compassion? Help me, my fellow man. God made me. God made me. God made me. God made me.
Thank you, Clay, and our band. Perfect, perfect, perfect song. You know, it takes so many people to create a Sunday morning experience, and I just feel so ministered to by the time I get up here. Kat, your pre-videos are just so spot on, and that song, All Is Well With My Soul, that was sung in Ukrainian was just phenomenal. Thank you so much for that. And then our music was amazing. The meditation was just so beautiful, being able to kind of back up and recognize that we're all one spirit, and, you know, the diversity is important, right? Yeah. So welcome, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here this morning. If you're here for the first time with us, we're delighted that you're with us today. And if you're here for the gazillionth time, we're delighted that you're with us today. It's been an interesting week, hasn't it? Yeah. I think that all of our hearts have been somewhat broken this week with another war coming out. And I want to share with you some words from Reverend Phil Snyder. He is the senior minister down the street at Brentwood Christian Church. He says, as if our world could take one more thing, war is ruined time. It is forged for the sake of ego and empire, and it leaves those who put their faith in it forever hungry for more, with an insatiable thirst that is never satisfied. All the while, those who so desperately want to avoid war instead find themselves weeping for irretrievable pasts and lost futures, wondering how they will endure it all, or even if they can endure it all. War doesn't fill the void, it exploits it, it exposes it, it enlarges it. Violence begets violence, and the world loses count. There is no glory in warfare, only loss, only sorrow. Loss of life for the victims, loss of soul for the perpetrators, and loss of promise and possibility beyond anything we will ever know. War is an incalculable evil that breeds irreparable loss. That nations try to find meaning and purpose in it is a sickness unto death. So, with everything that is going on, and I'm so grateful for Facebook and for the prayers that were posted on Facebook, for the memes that are there to remind us. And one of the Facebook memes that just really spoke to me is from, hold on here, Mr. Rogers. And he says, when I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. And what I want to say today, my friends, is that we are the ones. We are the helpers. That this is not something that is just outside of us, but it is something that we are here to be a part of changing the narrative on this whole idea of war. We have to recognize that we are part of this greater collective consciousness. Now, the only one that you can change is, that's right. I can't change you and you can't change me. I can't change the whole world by myself. But I sincerely believe, my friends, that every act of kindness, every loving thought, every prayer that we pray, that it does make a difference. But I also believe that we have to first clean up our own energy, our habitual ways of being. And this is what I want to talk about as I move into my talk today. We must ask ourselves if the thoughts that we are thinking, the words that we are speaking, the actions that we are taking, the things that we are sharing are adding to love, to peace, to goodness, to expansion in that way, or are they adding to separation, to hate, and ultimately even to war? You know, and everything, when I first heard about the war, I'm going to tell you, in my humanness, I did not have good feelings towards Putin. My words coming out of my mouth were the evil, and there was contempt in that. And I posted a prayer on Facebook because I needed to change my mind and I needed to change my heart, because I knew that those words and those thoughts and those feelings were only adding to the very thing that I did not want to perpetuate. And that was to that hate and to that separation and to those warring ideas, those warring emotions, those warring words that were coming from my consciousness. Now, I'm not saying for one moment that I'm personally or you personally that we're responsible for any acts of war, but we must again take personal responsibility for any energy that we are putting out. And if we don't have that, then we are going to feel helpless in all of this, right? And so, but we know that we have that because we're unity, because we know these teachings, and we know that whatever it is that we're expressing from here does emanate out, and it does affect the world around us. Yes? Yes, absolutely. So I got to tell you that this past week, the church received a disparaging letter, was actually posted on all of our entrances, complaining about our shelter. And I'm going to tell you, in my humanness, I was kind of mad at this person. And I was feeling all these feelings, and I was just like, you know how you get in that place and you're just like, how can anybody just not have compassion? And, what an awful person this person is. But thank you, God, I'm awake and aware enough to stop and go, hold on a second. This person needs my love. This person needs my good thoughts about them. Amy did a talk in Sunday school this morning. Please listen to it. It's on Facebook, about forgiveness. And one of the things that really caught me was that as long as we're making somebody wrong and we're separating them, we're not remembering their divinity. We're not remembering that every single one of us is a divine being. No matter how somebody is showing up, they're still a divine being. And if the only thing that we're willing to see is how bad and how wrong they are, then we are not shedding any light in their experience, right? And it's when we can step back and we can say, I know that you're hurting. Doesn't mean we accept the behavior. Doesn't mean that I think that was okay, because I don't. But again, what is it that I'm putting out into the greater consciousness? And am I willing? And Charles Fillmore says it best in his definition of love. He said, love sees the good in everyone and everything, and it insists that good is there until it appears uppermost in itself and in all things. Pretty easy to do, isn't it? Thank you. No, it isn't. But it's so important for us to do, right? So I want to get to the place where my first response is to immediately pray for my own heart and mind to be made pure when those situations show up, so that I can then open my mind and heart up to seeing how can I be the presence of a solution here? How can I? And you think about what Jesus said when you see somebody as an enemy, what do? Yeah, he didn't say, hey, make them wrong, talk bad about them, put them down, tell them they're the worst person in the world. Did he say that? No, he said to pray for them, to do good to them, to bless them, to be willing to get past our own ego and to see the light in them and to call forth that light. Ephesians 4:31 says, put away from you all bitterness and wrath and anger and wrangling and slander, together with all malice. Okay? We're going to all do that, right? And be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ has forgiven you. So our egos are generally, if we haven't gotten some control of them, they're controlled by our amygdala, which is the fight or flight, and they will go to war. But love, my friends, love will guide us along a different path. And here's the thing that I absolutely know, that even in the midst of situations like this, that we can't be held down. That consciousness is rising. And that as each and every one of us makes that decision to be that presence of love, to be that presence of light, to be that presence of kindness and compassion and goodness, every single time that we make that choice, the other energy just dissipates, because love is the one and only presence and power. It is the harmonizer, and it is the healer. We are the helpers, right? Yes, we are the helpers. Okay, so that completes that part of the talk, because I couldn't not talk about that this morning. What I want to focus on now for a little bit is that we are in the last days of Black History Month, and I apologize that I did not start this sooner. We were in the midst of our 5 principles, and I will do better because I know better next year. My purpose today is to bring awareness of the importance of Black History Month, and to bring awareness of the realization that racism and discrimination towards people of color still mightily exists in our country. Racism is woven into the very fabric of who we are in America. And I'm not going to focus on that today. I'm going to focus today on unity. Because you know what? Unity has had its own interesting journey with racism. And Unity has really come far, and Unity has made, they have acknowledged it, but they have not just acknowledged it. Unity has taken great action in making these wrongs right. Now, I want to share with you some of what the history of Unity with racism. In 1934, there was a sign that was posted that said, "Meals will be served a la carte separately to Negro students in the terrace tea room." The person that I want to focus on today is Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman. So let me tell you a little bit about Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman. Now, Unity allowed black people to go into the ministry, but they did not allow black ministerial students to stay on the grounds at Unity Village until Reverend Johnny Coleman demanded that she be able to stay on the grounds along with her white classmates in 1955. When Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman went back to Unity Village in 1966, the whites and the blacks were still segregated. In 1974, Dr. Coleman left Unity, and she founded a new branch of New Thought called the Universal Foundation for Better Living, which is still a thriving New Thought organization, and half of the black ministers went with her at that time. In 1979, Reverend Ruth Mosley, also a black minister, founded a seminary in Detroit called the Unity Urban Ministerial School, which is still a thriving ministerial school, to train ministers to work in inner cities and to attract black people into Unity ministry. And she served as the executive director there until 2013. In 1983, Rosemary Fillmore Ray, who is the granddaughter of our co-founders Charles and Myrtle, writes about Dr. Coleman, saying, "Today it's difficult to believe that Unity would participate in such blatant discrimination." I know that I was shocked when I started reading about it, that Unity, just by our name, but it was the culture of that time. In 1993, so here's where we're starting to get some things going now. Black students create a program to share the contributions of African Americans in Unity. And in 1994, the Unity School of Christianity issued a statement called Honoring Diversity Within the Unity Movement. In 1998, Dr. Coleman is invited to Unity and was presented a proclamation by the students. And in the late 90s, Unity formed a diversity council that brought in consultants to facilitate workshops with the staff and the board, which is just wonderful. In 2003, a statement called Enhancing the Dream was issued by the CEO of Unity School and the CEO of Unity Worldwide Ministries, formally apologizing for the racial history of Unity and offering to conduct a healing ceremony. And I say, thank you, God, that happened. 2004, the healing ceremony is part of a student-led celebration of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and Unity leaders apologize and acknowledge past discrimination against black people. In 2016, Unity Village hosted a Johnny Coleman Day, a day of remembrance, led by various organizations, honoring her accomplishments and her unfair treatment by Unity. In 2017, Martin Luther King Jr. Day became a paid holiday for all employees of Unity Worldwide Ministries. In 2018, and I love this, Unity World Headquarters hired a full-time diversity officer to oversee equity in hiring as well as training for employees. 20 trainings were conducted for 300 employees over the next 2 years on unconscious bias, microaggression, privilege, and anti-racism in 2018. In 2019, to celebrate Black History Month, Unity Worldwide Ministries created a video of black leaders called On the Shoulders of Greatness, Black History and Unity. In 2020, for Black History Month, Unity Worldwide Headquarters created a book titled Gems of Wisdom from Black Leaders of New Thought. And really, even today, if you go to Unity Worldwide Ministries, there's a whole area where you can hear the black black leaders talk about how important it is to focus on Black History Month, how the 5 principles support Black history. In 2020, after the George Floyd incident happened, Jim Blake, who's the CEO of Unity World Headquarters, made a video in support of the Black community, and that's when Unity really got serious about putting things on there about anti-racism, about diversity, about race, and many, many Unity churches started doing classes, and I did a class on white fragility, and it was an amazing, you know, I would have been one to say, I'm not racist. What are you talking about? And then I took this class on white fragility, and I was like, oh, there are things that we don't understand, that we don't know. And I was so happy to see that so many Unity churches were really addressing this. In 2020, I thought this was cool. Juneteenth became a paid holiday for Unity employees. In 2020, the board of directors formed a task force on diversity with Black ministers. Also, Jim Blake earned a divinity degree. He's the CEO of Unity Worldwide Headquarters from the Johnny Coleman Theological Seminary, which I thought was interesting. Jim Blake is a Black CEO, so I thought that was pretty cool. In 2021, Unity hosted an online event to celebrate Martin Luther King Day, and also Unity invited Black ministers to make videos. What you have in your seats is you have Unity's resolution on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I encourage you to take that home and to read it. I am so grateful and I am so proud to be a part of an organization that is not only taken the time to acknowledge the racism in the past, but has taken such progressive action to really make that difference. Why does Black History Month matter? Black History Month cultivates the past, it throws light upon the present, and it points toward a real, viable future for us all. So I thought about what's the best way that I can celebrate Black History Month. And it's with Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman. So we're going to watch a video of Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman giving a lesson on a Sunday morning. I'm going to tell you, Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman is a no-nonsense kind of woman. And I love that about her. She actually was, she was given 6 months to live just like Myrtle was way back in the day, and she found Unity. And she lived for a very, very long time after that. So I give you Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman. Hopefully.
We can't see it. You know how some of us are. Don't believe it and you're looking at it. Can't believe it because I haven't seen it. Can't believe it because you got to prove it to me. And I like to say many times, who do you think you are? Why? We don't have to prove nothing to you. Who do you think you are? Whatever you think you are, don't put yourself above the principles that Jesus Christ came here, proved it to us, and we know it works because he worked it. And then he said, even greater things will you be able to do. I believe that by faith, by believing God, we know that the world and the stars, all things were made by God. Made by God, whether you can see them or whether you do not see them. I like this. Whatever we want, and I talk about this all the time, is in the surrounding invisible substance, and faith is the power, and I call it the cookie cutter. Faith is the cookie cutter that cuts out of this unformed, great big piece of dough whatever you desire or whatever you want. It's up to you. Faith is the power that cuts out of the substance that surrounds you whatever you desire, whatever you want. Name it whatever the desire or want is in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. And we said last week, it's all right to have a desire because that's God knocking at the door of your soul saying, my child, I created you not to be where you are, but to lift yourself and become the rich child that I created you to be. Don't you know that you represent me? Don't you know that you are the only way that I can express on this earth and on this earth plane? So when you don't feel good physically, you can't express nothing because you don't feel like it, right? So that's the desire. If you have a desire for a physical healing this morning, whatever the miracle is that you need and want in your body, it is there because God has placed it inside of you. He is saying, let some more of my good come forth. It is my good pleasure. Come on. It is my good pleasure to give you. He said you. Didn't say just Johnny Coleman. He said, it is my good pleasure to give to you the kingdom of every good thing. Now you just name it and then have faith in it and see if anything or anybody can keep it from you. No way. It's yours, waiting for you to have faith and to believe that it is mine. I'm claiming a miracle today. I don't know about you. And because I'm claiming it and because I believe, there it is, because I have faith that the miracle's going to take place in my body, in my life, in my world, in my affairs. I don't have to buy it. I don't have to borrow it. I don't have to try to mix it up in a mixing bowl because I don't cook well. So I'm happy that all I have to do is have faith in God, that it is his pleasure to give to me whatever it is I desire and whatever it is I want. Sit there and look at me as long as you want to, but until you start practicing it and doing it and believing in your own God. I like that about him too. Everybody's got his own. And whatever you do with yours is your business. But please stay out of my business and let me do with mine what I have faith in. Do you know what I'm talking about? This is miracle working day. This is the miracles that's going to take place as soon as you get out the way. Anybody ever told you get out the way? You're in the way. You're in the way of your own good. They are not worth it. Whoever it is or whatever it is not worth it. So right where you are, you make a decision right now. You are not worth it. So I release you, I bless you, and I forget you. As long as you can remember it, it is still there, stuck back in the corner somewhere. You don't have to do anything about it if you feel somebody has not treated you the way you think they should have treated you. Here comes a shocker. If they did not treat you the way that you think they should have treated you, there was something inside of you that drew that to you. So don't be still upset with them. Get down inside of you and pull it out, because you're going to keep attracting the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Love you guys, and I thank you, and I say to you, namaste, namaste. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Reverend Johnny Coleman. Yes. All right. Now is the time that we have to be in the flow of giving to support Unity of Springfield. There's many ways that you can give. You can do that with our Tithely app, cash or check, and just various things. But let's take our gifts in our hands, like take the energy of our gifts in our hands and bless them together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and thank you, God.
And once again, we have Mr. Clay Holmes. He's going to be singing Put a Little Love in Your Heart. Ready? 2, 3, 4.
Think of your fellow man and my helping hand. Put a little love in your heart. See, it's getting late. Oh, please don't hesitate. Put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. Just you wait. See, another day goes by and still children cry. Put a little love in your heart. Want the world to know we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. Just you wait. See and see. Take a look at the ground. And if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart. The world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Stay wait. See, put a little love in your heart. 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 Oh yeah. Put a little love in your heart.
Thank you, Clay. Now it's time for the announcements. So if the weather would cooperate, mat making will continue on Thursdays from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. So let Brandy know if you would like to volunteer on Saturday as a second date and time is in the talks. On Saturday as a second date and time is in the talks. I read that poorly. Please keep bringing bags in, especially those that are colorful. New volunteers are always welcome and will be trained. Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. is the Calling Your Divine Support group, Divine Support System group led by James Masters. They are using the book Ask Your Guides. The next week's New Thought World Religion class will be taught by John Brocker on self-healing with breathwork. That is based upon the book by Jack Angelo. Please mark your calendars for the YOU Pancake Breakfast on March 20th. They are raising money to pay their way to the rally. Mrs. Butterworth's going to be there. She's nice. I like her. If you're wanting a Planet Unity flyer to hang up at your office or gym, or I guess anywhere, it doesn't have to be the office or gym, they're on the table in the foyer. Also, please help after the service to flip Fellowship Hall back to being shelter ready. We will be having the shelter open today, and we need 2 hospitality volunteers and 1 overnight. Please, 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 we need it so we can be open. So please see Lisa after the service for that. Now, if you would stand and join us in the prayer for protection. All together now. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Please join us in our closing song, What a Wonderful World. Thank you, Clay. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, John. Thank you, Blaine. Thank you, Denny. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, man. Have a wonderful week. Let's have a little Mardi Gras.